Welcome to this edition of Weekend Review. We're here to tell you what's happened last week and what's coming in the coming days here at LLBN. And before we do that, let's share a verse of the day. Now, all of us here at the Loma Broadcasting Network want to wish all the mothers out in the world a happy Mother's Day, because guess what? It's upon us. It's tomorrow. So to that end, Daryl has chosen a verse for us that will help you to celebrate Mother's Day. Daryl?
All right. This is one that I thought was a little unusual. I was looking through Mother's Day verses about mothers, and this one was different. Caught my attention. It's God speaking in Isaiah 66:13. As one whom his mother comforts, so I will comfort you.
Pretty powerful words, short sentence, but man, does it ever say a lot. Jesus is actually comparing himself to being our mother, to be that degree of care. I mean, what does that mean to you, Mackenzie?
I think it helps us see who Jesus is in a better light. Well, for some of us, at least for me personally, my mother and I are very close, and I can always talk to her whenever, and she's a huge comfort in my life. So hearing that verse that God comforts us like our mothers do, really, I can relate to that a lot. So
the Lord actually looks out for us in a parental way. Mm-hmm. He's the mother, He's the father, He's our creator, Jesus Christ. He's the one we follow. Get him?
Well, I mean, let's look after all. Who created love? God himself. And he gave us that nature of loving one another. And obviously, he's the one who created the parenting love, and particularly the mother's love. It all comes from him. He is the source.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people say that, Adam was the prototype and Eve was the refined edit master to complement what God had done in Adam. And that's so true, because our wives, our mothers, mean so much to us, and not only in this country, but all around the world. Ken, you have been to countries around the world. You see the reverence for the mothers across the globe.
It's so similar. I mean, the mother's love. Even you find that in the animal kingdom. Mother always protecting her babies. And humanity. Whatever country you go to. Most mothers, good mothers, mothers who are feeling well, always love their children, and they put their children before themselves. Mm-hmm. Hey, I grew up in a house, my mom was pretty much about her children, was never about herself. It was always putting her kids first. And I see the same thing with my wife, and I'm sure you all see the same thing with your families. But I do want to say something about mothers. My mom loved us all. It felt like she loved us all equally. But then also she loved us all in our own special ways. We all felt like her favorite, although I was the favorite, I'm sure. But it always felt that way, and I think all mothers that way, that gives that equal love to their children. So happy Mother's Day. I mean, this is a wonderful, wonderful celebration, a wonderful day to honor our mothers and to remind ourselves. Without our mothers, we would probably be lost, hungry. We won't be around.
Well, many of you know my mother, and I want to just take this opportunity to say Happy Mother's Day. I love you, and I know you love us, because you're a volunteer for LLBN just like I am. So thank you for all you do, and the same for your mother and your mother. Well, there you have it. We want to take this opportunity, all of us here at the Loma Broadcasting Network, to wish every mother in the world the very happiest Mother Day that you can have tomorrow. Thank you for being our mothers here at the Loma Broadcasting Network and doing what you always do for your families. Well, speaking of families, we have a program that's called Christian Connections. And guess what? It featured a Mother's Day theme. Mackenzie Campbell is here to tell us all about it. Mackenzie?
Yeah, so this last Tuesday night, we had a Christian Connections that was dedicated to Mother's Day. And I believe it was Pastor John Anderson who spoke about the blessing of motherhood. So that's something that our viewers can tune into. It replays 6:30 p.m. this evening, and also very early tomorrow morning. Well, this is 6:30 p.m. this evening Pacific time, and then tomorrow morning at 2 a.m., and that's very early for those who live on the West Coast, but for those on the East Coast, if you wake up very early at 5 a.m., you can tune in to Christian Connections.
And start your Mother's Day off right.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have a little sample here for you to enjoy to just give you a hint of what you're going to see this evening and tomorrow morning on Christian Connections.
It is probably the highest calling and greatest privilege for someone to become a mother. There's truth in the adage that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. A mother's influence for good through the training and discipline and prayer can be unlimited, cannot be measured. Now, the history of honoring mothers, we're going to talk a little bit about the secular aspect of honoring mothers, and then we're going to talk about the Bible, the biblical perspective of honoring mothers, and then I'd like to share a personal testimony, a tribute to my own mother. The secular history of motherhood goes way, way back. Even the Greeks and the Romans in ancient times had special days on which they celebrated motherhood and gave honor to them.
And that's why you do not want to miss this replay of Christian Connections this evening at 6:30 and the brand new live edition on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. here on the Loma Linda Broadcasting Network. Now, here's Daryl to tell us about, well, another special project that LLBN is involved with, and it involves music. Daryl?
Yes, we have a show that I'm sure some of you have watched. It's the LLBN Vespers. It's the last Friday of every month, and it's at 6 p.m. live. So far, we've had just a couple of them, and they've been fantastic shows. You won't want to miss these upcoming ones. Mackenzie, who's going to be on our next one here?
Heralds of Hope,
Heralds
and that's
of
May
Hope.
25th.
Right, 6 p.m. Pacific time here on LLBN. Be live.
If you love music, you're going to love these guys. They really know how to sing. Well, there is future projects that we want to share information with you about, and Ganem is here to do just that. Ganem?
What would you like to know, Marlon?
I want to know about, well, let's say building. Let's start with that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm actually overexcited about this whole building project. I believe Daryl spoke a little bit about it last week during Week in Review. So we have searched in the local area and beyond for space to lease and expand, and we came back to the conclusion that probably best we build here on our property. So we are revisiting that whole concept. We're putting together a building committee of experts, the conceptual plans under design, and I think we know what we want to do and how much it's going to cost. I believe in the upcoming weeks you will hear more and more about that. And the good news, we have most funding on hand for this building project. We're short about, I think it was about $400,000.
Yes.
That I believe by the time we start submitting our plans to the city, hopefully that $400,000 would have been raised by then. We'll probably do a week special on that, so we help our viewers to understand and learn more about what we're trying to do. The only obstacle right now is parking space, whether we have enough parking space to satisfy the city requirement, and we are working on that. And I think we might have a good solution also.
Now, the city in the past has been very supportive of
They've
efforts
always
here.
have been. It's a great city, great leadership. It's all about just knowing what we want to do and where we want to do it. But after much research, we are back of an opinion that it should be here, stay on this campus, expand our campus, and grow from this location.
Have any idea how big this building is going to be? Is it going to be like 10 stories tall? Or?
No, I think we're going back to a single story because we have other plans for growth that will not be specifically for this space. We have other space we want to build on as well, but this will be single story. It's a good size 10,000 square foot building. I think it will meet a lot of our immediate needs. There will be reconstruction, remodeling in this space, repurposing this space for other purposes. But we're looking probably about a 12 months timeline, we hope, to get this project completed, 12 months to 14 months at most. We're going to go very aggressive about it. And again, all monies, all dollars, all gifts for all this, for entire operation or this building project does not come from any local organization or church, but rather comes from our beloved viewers out there who miraculously kept us going for the last 20 years. And as you know, this is our 21st year.
Yeah, without corporate help of any kind.
With zero help, actually. It all comes from our viewers. And people are surprised to hear that, but that's a fact. All our monies comes from our viewers. And big thank you for having us come this far to be able to have enough money on hand to start this project. But we're short $400,000.
So what actually has to happen before you can turn over that first shovel of dirt?
Well, the plan's being put together, structural engineer, civil engineer, architect, the building committee who is working on that, working on the business model with the city. Once they get that scope behind us, then we hopefully to submit plans. So, I mean, there's several things working in parallel in a flat timeline to make sure all aspects of this project are coming together and according to the timelines we established. But I think hopefully in about 60 days we may submit our business plans and our blueprints to the city of Loma Linda.
Where does donors, big or small, get more information?
Well, you know, that's a good question. I'll probably will work with Mackenzie and Daryl and others to populate that information on the web. We'll probably, we are actually having some material printed. Once we know the final conceptual look and design, we'll have that. We would love to have donors put their name on the building, on some of the, what would you call it, the different areas of the building. It's going to be beautiful. I'm really excited about it. It's real, and I have to roll my sleeves, put a lot of energy into this after hours and weekends, because after all, we're all full-time employees elsewhere, and LLBN is our passion.
Well, there you have it. The goings on, the future going on, the growth, everything here is for you from the Loma Linda Broadcasting Network. Got one letter, time for one letter that we want to share with you, and Mackenzie has that letter. Mackenzie?
This is from Delbert from Spokane, Washington. Enclosed is a check for your station. We enjoy watching LLBN. Very nice and sweet and short.
And, you know, really, that says it in a nutshell. To keep the station on the air, to bring you the quality programming that you love and enjoy, we hear your cards and letters all the time. It takes your financial involvement. So as we come up to the special broadcast or the building project, we're going to need your help in a very special and big way. So put that on your calendar, start planning for it, help us take the good news of Jesus Christ to all the hungry nations of the world. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Week in Review, but true to form, we're going to give Gavin the last word. Anything you want to add?
Hey, so glad we have a Father who loves us so much that he laid himself on the cross and died for us.
Boy, can't say it any better than that. Have a great week, and we'll see you for the next edition of Week in Review right here on LLBN. Bye-bye.